everybody. Welcome to OUTTAKE ESL. Today I want to talk a little bit about a presentation and a party I did for Independence Day, 4th of July. Now I originally did it as a party for a company called Wall Street English, and then I later changed it to an English corner for Met in English, and it kind of goes over different aspects of the American Revolutionary War, how day we celebrate. And so for the party, I decided to make it an all-American picnic here. And for the party, I actually went out and bought hot dogs and hamburgers, and I made potato salad, and made salsa, and I had the whole spread out. And I said, the first thing you need to do is go over there and get yourself something to eat, right? Actually for Wall Street, they even allowed me to have beer since it was adults. So I had some beer and some soda over there. And everybody kind of went over and dug in. And then we started a little discussion on why do Americans celebrate Independence Day. Americans typically celebrate what do Americans typically eat. And then we went over the food that they were eating. What is it called? Here's the menu. Hamburgers and hot dogs and potato chips and salads and condiments there. A lot of fun. So at the barbecue, I've actually had this invitation go out. But since everybody was eating there, I decided to give them a song, and I decided to do this song here. Typical All-American, Bruce Springsteen, 4th of July, Sandy. My mother's name is Sandy. So I did this song, 4th of July, Sandy. And I played that for them while they kind of sat and ate. Then put the guitar down, kind of went over the song. What a song about, how he described the singer, who is Sandy. Told him a little bit about my mom. And then moved on here, got some fireworks, talked a little bit about that, and we started the game off. Everybody kind of finished up their meals, and I started with the first activity for the party, and I also did this with the English corner, I think. It's how well do you know red, white, and blue? So I got everybody to get up in a circle. We will go around the room one per time, each person to name something red, white, or blue. For example, the first names something that is red, the next person names something is white, the next person names something that is blue. So they go like apple, clouds, blue sky. Right? And when someone's out, when they can't think of anything after a few seconds, so it's just kind of going around the circle. You gotta name something red, something white, something blue, red, something white, something blue, until everybody's eliminated. So I went her, and I kind of gave out a gift for that, get everybody warmed up. And then I went just through a quick trivia quiz here, and I had different things like, finish this quote, these are the times that buy, betray, try, disguise men's soul. These are the times that disguise men's souls, yeah. Perfect sentiment for today's political climates, right? Thomas Paine said that. Which of the men listed below signed the U.S. Declaration of Independence? George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. And it's kind of for adults in universities, so here you have to assume they know somewhat, maybe a general idea of American history, but if not, you're there to sort of, give them new information. And I would say typically a lot of Chinese don't really actually know a lot about American history for the most part, working here in China. So the following states was not one of the original 13 colonies. And we talk a little bit as we go. When did it begin? The Minutemen. Which of the founding countries gave assistance? France. I'll finish this quote. I have to say, like Wall Street English, even though it was originally an American company, there was still that British sort of, a little bit of slight bit of animosity there, a little bit of sort of like, we have to do this. It's July the 4th, so we have to pay regards. Tea Party. And the next activity I did here was called the John Hancock, very famous sort of aspect of the American history is John Hancock and his signature. So what I did here was I gave them a little bit of discussion about who John Hancock was, and then we played an activity game. It's basically pin the tail on the donkey kind of thing. But what I did was I had some pictures of different forefathers on the wall, and I had their handwritten signatures, and I gave each team one of the handwritten signatures, and they had to first figure out, I also gave them this handout here. First they had to figure out who it was, and then they had to tell their person to pin the signature on the correct portrait. So for example, I might go, this guy here, so they had 5 signatures, or 5 founding father signatures, and they had to first find out from their map here who they were, and then they had to tell their person who was blindfolded at the board, and tell them where to pin the signature under what portrait. So it was kind of fun. It's you know, based on put your John Hancock on it. Common phrase, John Hancock, and then I would reveal who it was, Benjamin Franklin. All right. Now the next thing I did, and this was just for the English corner because it had to be a little more concerned with, you know, English comprehension and just not kind of activities. As I did a sort of reading passage on George Washington. This is part of the ESL libraries. Part of the ESL libraries sort of lesson plans. And just kind of do a quick reading comprehension exercise. What did your memory sleep right, true or false? This is, once again, this is all ESL library. Some materials that I kind of reformatted here. All right, now the next activity I did was the actual Revolutionary War. I had Minutemen, I had little plastic bottles, water bottles with these wrappings around them. You had this guy wrapped around this bottle, picture of this guy wrapped on this bottle, and I put them all, I lined them all up on each side of the classroom, and then I gave everyone the materials for making pea shooters. I think it was like a rubber band and a cup. And we had a little Revolutionary War of just, each team had to come up with their own pea shooter. And we had a quick little Revolutionary War with those pea shooters. This was actually a fun activity based on Paul Revere's ride. Of course, everyone knows Paul Revere for his famous The British Are Coming. So for this, I came up with an activity. I gave a little bit of introduction about who Paul Revere was. But for this game, I had 2 teams, the British Are Coming, and I did try to do this all this in sort of like the old English language here. Sound out in this game, 2 teams will be sounding to cry the warn, the colonists of approaching Reds. First we will select thy 4 reveres to ride like wind for each team. Next, ye first player from each team will have to spur their steed to the main concourse, where they will have to stuff 3 salty crackers in their gobs. Thus accomplished, thy revere must then attempt to whistle and sound out the British are coming. So what it was, we had 2 teams of 4, and they each had to run to a table where there were some crackers, and they had to eat 3 crackers, and while the crackers in their mouths, they had to whistle, and they had to say the British are coming. And then once they did that, accomplished that, they could run back, and the next person would have to go. And the first team that everybody has eaten all their crackers, they had 12 crackers for each team. And the first team that ate all their crackers and cried, the British are coming, and whistled while the crackers were still in their mouth, was the winner. And that was the last activity. So, you know, for the English corner, I replicated some of these activities, and I included the reading passage for the party. I just kind of excluded them and did more with the picnic, actually. So that's kind of some ideas if you're thinking of doing a lesson on Independence Day in your ESL classroom. I hope there's some games and activities in here you can find enjoyable, or at least have some fun with your students. If so, please click like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. And stay tuned for more materials on its way to come. All right. Oh yeah, please comment below if you care to, in the section down below. But we'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.